On the latest episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, he gave his take on the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Take a look.
Politics in this country is binary. You have to wear everything anyone on your side does. Republicans are the party of wear masks, kids in cages, lock her up. Democrats are the party of every sensitive social justice warrior, woke story in the...
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Prepare yourselves, because Bill Maher is cutting like a scalpel through the political cacophony. He is dissecting how the Republican-Democratic division has evolved beyond disagreement to a complete identity problem. These days, loyalty isn't based on values anymore. Every catchphrase, joke, and dramatic headline your tribe throws to you should be parsed. The anti-mask, lock-her-up sentiments are still quite popular among Republicans who see defiance as a fashion statement. It's more about showing toughness than it is about policy.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous...
Democrats, on the other hand, have made social justice a major theme. Every popular topic turns into a viral conflagration. Trump has said that he is a perfect 10 at every demonstration, picture opportunity, and somehow in the limelight. The mayor doesn't hold back. Political cosplay is what he's calling it. No one is pursuing genuine answers or posing genuine inquiries. It all comes down to influence, indignation, and whose story takes center stage in the news cycle that week. Optics are more important to both sides than results. And the American people, who are confined to a never-ending reality show, with the majority of them being unaware that they're being played.
But isn't it interesting that it's called, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it long ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America.
But there's
one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go...
Let's be honest. Whoopi is funny. They hurt when they land, but they don't land half the time. To be honest, I wouldn't mind at all if she directed a few of those outrageous insults at me. However, she wasn't the center of attention this time. Oh no, it wasn't just anyone who set her co-host, Joy Behar, on fire. In the midst of prime time, Bill Maher lit her up like a blaze. Bill let loose the floodgates when Joy opened her lips last week. Social media was on fire after a vicious roast. Viewers greeted Maher's criticism as a long-overdue reality check and cheered like it was the Super Bowl. And the cause of Behar's disastrous attempt to court Caroline Leavitt. What then triggered Maher? Easy.
In this country is binary. You have to wear everything anyone on your side does. Republicans are the party of don't wear masks, kid cages, lock her up, and Democrats the party of every hypersensitive social justice warrior, woke in the news. They're the party that disappears people or tries to make them apologize for ridiculous...
Joy made a subtle jab at Leavitt's recent appointment as Trump's press secretary. Joy reduced everything to body size, claiming that Leavitt was hired because she is a size 10, rather than challenging her background or political beliefs. Yes, exactly. Joy believes that dress size is now a requirement for a position in the White House. The internet erupted, not simply winced. The irony? Joy Behar has been expressing her thoughts and hot takes for years, but no one has ever asked her what precisely qualifies her to remark on anything. Joy blew it off, as if it didn't matter, as co-host Alyssa attempted to bring the conversation down to earth by bringing up Leavitt's true CV, her political activity, her experience, and her record. Bill Maher lost his temper at that point. With his self-satisfied deadpan approach, he came in full force, pointing out the hypocrisy. Just verbal abuse, no showmanship. Is she really a 10? We'll be back shortly.
Is she really a 10? We'll
Don't
be right
do
back.
it.
No.
I noticed Jesse was a 7.
Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1 point.
He dismantled Behar's reasoning and made the double standard glaringly obvious. Make sure your own home isn't constructed of glass before you start slandering others. Twitter as well. Some people refer to it as woke Twitter. They are in a downward spiral. Behar is being defended by some. Everyone is watching, but some people are ashamed. And this roast ended up becoming the week's most watched clip. You may say anything you want about Bill Maher, but he's immune to flattery. He presents it as he perceives it. He's come just for the view this time. Maher claims that the true problem lies with the show's overall idea rather than simply the presenters. Please, The View. It is more akin to the sole authorized opinion hour. Real discussion has no place here. No room for different approaches.
Ever-empowering feminist Joy herself, everyone. And this is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world, because Caroline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees.
The second someone on that sofa dares to express anything outside the liberal group belief, boom. According to daytime TV, they're shut down, disregarded, and ridiculed. And who is always the first to strike? You got it. Joy Behar, the self-appointed gatekeeper of the gospel. Joy won't listen, even if someone on their own panel, like Alyssa Farah-Griffin, tries to speak out. Alyssa retaliated by providing information regarding Caroline Leavitt's political history. Joy, meanwhile, essentially rolled her eyes as if Alyssa had committed some horrible evil rather than listening to her. The same ladies criticizing Caroline Leavitt would be celebrating her if she had been selected by a Democrat. You would need a bulldozer to cut through the thick layer of hypocrisy. This was more than a jab at Behar.
Really ticks me off about him, though, is this laughing Kamala remark. It's such a remark, because a guy I was with over the weekend, a friend of mine, they said, oh, his laugh annoys me. Remember they said that about Hillary's laugh, they're just cackling. And men, you know, they don't like a funny woman. Afraid if you laugh or you make a joke, you'll do that when they're in bed with you.
It was a scathing indictment of the way the Democratic elite pretends to be the voice of justice while playing favorites. Maher's advice is to quit acting dishonestly in public if you want to assert moral superiority. Let's not fool ourselves. If Caroline Leavitt had been selected by a Democrat.
No, so if you don't like Kamala Harris's weird cackling, it's because you fear her in the boudoir?
Huh?
That's a theory there, Joy. I feel like, given her personal history, I mean, Willie Brown and all, that's probably not what people are thinking about Kamala Harris when they are thinking about that type of activity, but sure, go with
Joy Behar, who would be in the front row applauding her intelligence and grace, and likely referring to her as the future of American femininity, would be clapping like a seal. On broadcast, she would be raving about Leavitt's representation of female strength, development, and optimism. However, since Leavitt was hired by Trump, all of that phony feminist fervor has vanished, to be replaced with sarcastic remarks about dress size.
The idea that Trump won with some kind of mandate is not true. I mean, we have information there. He beat Kamala Harris by 1.6%. Joe Biden beat Trump by 0.5%, and nobody said it was a mandate. So get that out of your lips, out of your mouth. These people were saying it's a mandate. It's not a mandate.
Joy Behar, once again, is very confused. The reason that Trump is to have a mandate here is not because he won the election by 1.6%. He didn't win the election by 1.6%. He won the election in a landslide. He got 312 electoral.
The actual kicker is right here. Behar would be in the opposite position if anybody else had equated a woman's job with her physical appearance. She would call for a boycott, a social media breakdown, and an apology tour. However, there is quiet, crickets, and no words when the petty criticism comes from her own side. It wasn't overlooked that there was a double standard. It was torn to pieces by Bill Maher. He wasn't alone, however. Greg Gutfeld also made a strong impression, and his perspective is harsh. Behar didn't just insult Caroline, he claimed.
Votes is what determines who wins the presidential election. He only needed 270 to win, and he got 312. He destroyed Kamala Harris. That number, the 1.6 or 1. Democrats have an advantage in the popular vote because Republicans generally don't campaign in the big Democrat states, New York and California, because the Democrats are going to win it anyway. It's a waste of campaign.
She disparaged all women who had struggled for respect. Gutfeld pointed out the obvious by minimizing Leavitt's accomplishments to her appearance. It seems like voting blue is the only way to be an empowered woman. He was not mistaken. There was no mistaking Behar's message. You're not worthy if you're not one of them. It has nothing to do with credentials, expertise, or intellect. It has to do with devotion to the story. Because Behar would have been wailing on TV, waving cancel culture like a flag, and asking for heads to roll if someone had said the same thing about a Democrat. At this point, the rules miraculously shift.
On The View on Friday.
What was your reaction? Well, my reaction was I was at Costco buying, 10 boxes of Keurig coffee, and my watch started to buzz, and I got so excited I started leaking.
Just when you didn't think you could be more upset, you have to picture Joy Behar's vagina.
Caroline Leavitt, meanwhile, is in charge of the White House, handling press inquiries with assurance, remaining composed under duress, and stating unequivocally that she didn't get the job because of a picture opportunity. Behar is roughly 1.5 light years away from becoming a perfect 10 herself, and she's hurling stones from a glass home. And Caroline Leavitt is a perfect fit. Behar is gritting her teeth over that very thing. Because Joy would be praising Leavitt like she just stepped out of a history book if she were a leftist 25-year-old spewing talking points that MSNBC approved. Leavitt, on the other hand, is labeled as simply another gorgeous face because she dares to think differently.
I'm sorry, but
Leaking at a Costco.
I don't want it. I didn't want any of the events that happened last week. What's going on? Why? There's such a thing as TMI. There really is. It's inappropriate. She's inappropriate. It was disgusting, and no one wants to be thinking about that. But on the larger point, that's how rabid they are. Literally caused her to pee her pants. She was so excited to see Donald Trump convicted, like a 3-year-old seeing Goofy at Disney.
Cheap jabs and facile labels. No appreciation for her labor, no acknowledgement of her efforts. The money spent on the campaign is wasted. And simply take a look at Behar's reasoning recently if you think that's harsh. She once said, "Hey, if you don't like Kamala Harris's crazy, high-pitched laughter, you're a misogynist." You heard correctly. It seems that hating women now includes disliking someone's laugh.
Okay, Joy is okay, but it was a scary moment at first when she missed her mark trying to sit down.
Not on a nice talk show set, not behind a script, but in front of someone who truly did their studies. The White House is held by Republicans. Joy owns a sofa, and yelling over her co-hosts won't make it go away. After all of the embarrassing walkbacks, social media roasts, and viral failures, you would think that The View would have gained some self-awareness by now. Unfortunately, their set still does not have that talent. Joy Behar was finally forced to face the reality check she had been avoiding for years. Megyn Kelly didn't hold back as she arrived in full force. For her most recent outburst, she scorched Behar with her signature frigid delivery. In aisle 7, Kelly referred to it as emotional excess. She wasn't kidding either. Every instance of hypocrisy, every false story, and every double standard is being exposed by them. Clearly and loudly. It's now a full-fledged battle between reason and show. Is this never-ending cycle of spin and tantrums going to cease? Or will facts and wit ultimately triumph over the noise? Click, like, and subscribe if you like today's breakdown so you don't miss the next one. There will be more heat heading your way.